Vinaka, and a warm welcome to Speak Your Mind. This week's episode, I have an interesting guest again. Anyhow, my name is Louise Kaunisela, the Adventist Development and Relief Agency, ADRA. Now, Fiji is a global humanitarian organization of the Seventh-day Adventist Church funded by the European Union. My guest to tell us about one of their remarkable ventures is Ilimeleki Kayanuyanu, and he is the Pro Resilience Project Manager. Thank you for your time to talk to us today, and welcome to Speak Your Mind. Now, before we start, could you please give us a little bit of a background about yourself, Ilimeleki?
Arnayandra Luis.
Nayandra.
Ilimeleki Kayanuyanu, the project manager for Wakaruwai Fiji Pro Resilience Project. I'm from the village of Tongavere in the province of Ra.
Vinaka.
Based in Lautoka with this Fiji Pro Resilience Project.
Okay.
I work in the Ministry of Agriculture for more than 20 years before I joined ADRA.
It's a long time.
So I joined ADRA with this project in 2017.
Okay, so it's now 2020?
2018, sorry.
2018, yes, that's when it first started. I know I had someone else to talk about the accountability, but today we're going to fully cover agriculture. So I believe you've been undertaking a 34-week project funded by the European Union since 2018.
34 months.
Okay, so can you please tell us about the Wakaruwai Fiji Pro Resilience Project?
Thank you, Louise. As mentioned, this project is actually funded by the European Union. It's a different type of project because drought is a disaster that is really different from, flooding and cyclone. They always say that it's an onset type of disaster. Because sometimes you don't really know when you are in drought.
Okay.
And you don't really know when it's going to end,
Yeah.
So for the European Union to fund this project, it's quite a very good thing. Mostly for our province in the west,
True.
and also up in the north around Maduata and Bua. So this project is actually to improve the capacity of our subsistence farmers, our communities, to be resilient and to also adapt to drought.
Yes.
So that is really the gist of this project. So as we mentioned, that it's a 34-month project, started in 2018 and will end this year.
Okay.
So there are three areas when we talk about resilience and adaptation, three areas that we are looking at: drought, from the nutrition side, also on agriculture, and also on resilience itself.
Right.
So that really covers what this project is about.
Okay, so you did mention that this project will end this year. What month will that be?
Around November this year.
Oh, so you must have done quite a lot of work since 2018. So, I mean, this is really good. So why did the Wakaruwai Fiji Pro Resilience Project choose the Maduata and Ba provinces?
Well, as we know that, when there's drought, these are the provinces that are really affected by drought. We are looking at Maduata. That's why they call Maduata Mbambasinga.
Okay, right.
Bua, Ra province, Mba, and Nandrongana. These are the areas that really impacted on drought.
Right.
But I must say at this time that it's not only us implementing this European Union project. We also have another partner, which is the Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO. They're also working with the Ministry of Agriculture, but they are concentrating in the three provinces in Bua, Ra, and Nandrongana. For us, the ADRA, we are concentrating in Maduata and Mba.
So you got quite a lot covered there, which is a good thing.
Well, Mba is the biggest province in Fiji, so
True.
it covers from Tavua right up to Nandi.
So you must be really busy. Okay, so I just want to know, how has ADRA's Pro Resilience Project worked with and helped the drought-prone communities of Maduata and the Ba province? Like the irrigation system, etc.
As I said, it covers the three areas: resilience, agriculture, and nutrition. When we look at this project, we are actually covering 10,000 subsistence farmers. We are not looking at farmers around semi-commercial and commercial. We are looking at subsistence farmers.
Okay, so these are like the poorer
farmers,
ones, poorer. Not, I mean, I wouldn't say poorer, but you
yeah.
know.
When I say subsistence farmers, they look at food security first
Okay.
before they sell whatever is excess.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And when it comes to drought, these are the farmers that are really impacted.
Yeah.
But in Fiji, from the Ministry of Agricultural experience, we have around like 80% of our farmers in Fiji that are made up of subsistence farmers. So these are really important component of farmers.
You say 80%?
80%.
Oh, that's a lot.
There's a lot. That's why we are, for just the two provinces, Maduat and Ba, we are looking at 10,000 subsistence farmers.
Right.
But we are also looking at within 10,000, 3,000 women.
Right.
Because when it comes to nutrition, it's the mothers that are really the important player when it comes to nutrition for the family.
Yes.
So that's why we are having 3,000 farmers to concentrate, women farmers.
Okay.
For this project.
All right. So you say you want to cover 10. You have already, covered 10,000.
Yeah. Right now, we already covered 10,448 subsistence farmers.
Excellent. So you've gone over that amount.
Gone over, and more than 5,000 women.
Ooh, I must give you a big round of applause for that one. But we'll be back shortly on Speak Your Mind. This is Gold FM, only the classic hits, only classic hit station in the country. And I thank you for your good company. We'll be back shortly. We're back on Speak Your Mind, Gold FM, only the classic hits, and my guest to tell us all about what ADRA Fiji is doing together with the European Union. Well, we have the Resilience Project Manager, Ilimaleki Kayanuyanu. Now, before the break, we were talking about, how you've gone over the amount of farmers, including the women, teaching them and helping them how to be, resilient during drought. So maybe we can continue with what the actual training that you did for them.
Thank you, Louise. That's really true. One of the important components of this project is on training. We really need to change the mindset of our community members and our farmers. That's why a major component of this project is on training. Training on adaptive, good agricultural practices, what we call GAP, and also on nutrition, balanced diet. And also, when we talk about training, we actually empower our community members or our subsistence farmers, to make the right decision, when it comes to this type of drought. That's why we really need to teach them. Rather than relying on government, they can make their own decision when it comes to farming,
right?
Especially during drought.
Okay.
So we also looking at providing like demonstration farm. We set up demonstration farm for them to see if they can practice the same thing in their own farm, because we really can cover the whole 10,000.
Okay. Yes.
So we teach them, we show them example of how they can do it. We also provide water tank. Actually, we already place 50 water tanks around the two provinces. So more than 20 is in Maduat and also more than 20 in Ba water tank. These are 10,000 liters water tank for those communities that really need it.
Yeah.
And also demonstration farm for irrigation. Small setup of irrigation that can help farmers, to know how they can do it.
Yeah.
It's more or less like a demonstration,
Yeah.
so that farmers can do it themselves. Eh?
Okay, so is it quite cheap to get these irrigation pipes?
Depends on the source of water. Eh? That's one of
see.
the criteria for us to put this one is they should have a good source of water. Even during drought, they still can have that type of
I see.
you know,
So
source-
maybe like a river or something like
river
that.
or stream,
Yeah.
or even just from the main water line. Eh?
Oh, okay.
But we actually demonstrate of how they can do irrigation. Just a simple setup.
Okay.
So we were looking at around $2,000 to set up this type
Not
of.
too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they. Yeah.
Yeah. So sprinklers and
Mm-hmm.
type of irrigation things can really suit them. Eh?
Yeah.
There are some that we cluster them. A number of farmers, and then we just have a water pump and also some of the sprinklers for them to circulate around.
Okay.
For a number of farmers. Eh?
Okay.
But those are the things that we really need them. But not only that, we actually, in terms of resilience, we have what we, like community structures inbuilt, like we have committees, disaster committees, so that they can coordinate when there's a disaster. Before, during, and after a disaster, these are the committees that can, mobilize the community. So we have what we call CDMC, Community Disaster Committee, and also REC Committee, Resilient Agricultural Committee, to look at food security of the communities. So those are community structure that we, part of this project to have it in their own communities. That is part of resilience component of this project.
Excellent.
Not only that, we also have what we call the CVM, Community Volunteer Mobilizer, which is part of ADRA, but they are from their own community where we work with them. These are like Turani Koros or nominated by the community that we can work with when we try to say something with the community.
Yes.
So this is something that we are thinking for them to be resilient. They need to, to sort their own issue out rather than relying on outside people.
And it's just wonderful. I mean, to be able to go to the community and teach them all these wonderful things. I'm really proud of the work that you do. And thank you to European Union as well for funding it. And of course, the Adventist Development and Relief Agency. This is with the church too, yeah?
Yes. It's an arm of the Church of Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Oh, okay.
But it deals with humanitarian, development.
Yeah.
And it's, it's non-discriminatory.
Right.
It doesn't discriminate anyone based on religion or on race or anything. So we help everyone.
That's wonderful. Because, I mean, when the community work together, everything just, comes into place perfectly, I think. Okay, so I believe you also used adaptive cultural methods to help sustain farmers in the dry season. What were these cultural methods that you used?
Well, as I said, we use good agricultural practices, like mulching,
Okay.
Rather than throwing away, agricultural waste, keep it for fertilizer for your crop.
Okay, yes, that's right. Instead of burning it, and that's something that really irritates me. And they can use it for mulch, and they want to go and burn it and create pollution.
That's one of the best fertilizers. So we teach them how to do mulching, how to do composting, and even not to use chemicals.
Yeah.
There are some plants that are insect repellent that we just plant that one in your garden.
So that's like intercropping.
Yeah, intercropping.
We will come back shortly on Speak Your Mind. Gold FM, only the classic hits. Welcome back to Speak Your Mind on Gold FM, only the classic hits. I'm Louise Kaunisela. My guest is here from ADRA, and he is the Pro Resilience Project Manager, Ili Maleki Kayanuyanu. And it's really interesting how you talk about how you teach these, what do you say, the cultural methods, as well as to the farmers, the ones that you said that they depend on food first, then they sell.
Subsistence farmers.
Subsistence farmers, that's the word I was looking for. But anyhow, you said you taught them how to make compost and how to do mulching. So what were they doing before? They weren't practicing these things?
Yeah, that's something that, if you go down to the west during the dry season or during drought, there's a lot of burning, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, burning. Even in the cane belt area, they can use cane leaves, as a manure. Eh?
True.
But not only that, Louise, also nutrition. We actually teaching our mothers how to cook without using salt or oil or much sugar. That's something that is really amazing when we teach them some of the things that they normally cook using salt. But instead of salt, we use, moly and, same taste. And, it really does wonders to the mothers. Eh? But something funny, at the end of the day, they always tell us, this is good, but it depends on the father's taste. Eh?
Oh, they go back to the fathers again.
But for us, we are encouraged because not only women are, participating in this cooking demo, and it's mostly the men that are also now taking part. Eh?
Oh, great.
Very encouraging to know that fathers too, they do cook in their family. That's something very encouraging.
Very encouraging indeed. Yeah, they make better cooks sometimes than the women.
Maybe.
But so you spoke about the cultural methods, how you said you plant intercropping.
Intercropping.
You were saying to keep some bad insects away or something.
Yeah, we have, like some of the plants like lemongrass, marigold, that you can plant, on the boundary of your garden. Or,
marigold, the one that smells.
Yeah, it smells strong, eh?
Yeah, very strong.
But those are insect repellent, eh?
Oh.
Even neem, eh? Neem.
Neem leaves?
Neem leaves, eh?
Yeah.
That can be, mixed in water and sprayed to plants, eh?
Okay.
For insect repellent.
See, that's a natural way of doing
That's
it.
a natural way of doing it. Eh?
And you don't need to spend money.
Don't need to spend money without the use of, inorganic chemicals. Eh?
Yeah, I mean, this is what Fiji is about,
Yeah.
Organic.
Organic.
We love, I mean, if you go overseas, their food has no taste.
Yeah.
Their vegetables, they're just big, but no taste.
No taste, yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the things that, we teach our subsistence farmers. Eh?
Too good.
Not to use inorganic fertilizer more, eh?
Okay.
But more so on organic type of farming. Eh?
Very interesting. Okay, so you have spoken about how you've passed the amount of farmers that you were supposed to train. I mean, 10,000, that's passed. The women's gone up to 5,000. How many more do you wish to train? Do you think you can fit any more in until November?
Well, we actually revisiting because our project is just concentrating in Ba and Marawa,
Okay,
right? So, we are revisiting some of our communities that we can do retraining again, from now till October, as part of our project. Eh?
Yeah.
But I really thank the project staff for cover. It's not an easy thing, eh?
True.
But since they're teaching our farmers to be resilient, they are really doing a great job, eh?
True.
Of covering that number of subsistence farmers and also community members. Eh?
So obviously you have been teaching them something that they weren't aware of. You know, I mean, some of them may have been aware of certain things, but there were some things that they were not aware of. So that's where your job came in.
Yeah, because, mostly, when we're trying to get easy way of getting money, we tend to forget this type of simple things, eh? Things that are really friendly to our environment. Eh?
Yeah.
It's just reminding them again. most of our subsistence farmers. This is the better way of doing things. As I said, it's empowering our farmers to make the right decision.
Excellent. And even if when we do this on radio and we'll have the delayed coverage on TV, you can educate even more farmers who may be watching. So that's a good thing.
Thank you very much. Thank you, FBC.
You're most welcome. So we talk again about the demonstration farm sites for the irrigation system set up so far in the drought-prone areas that we've just spoken about. What is the ultimate goal again of these projects?
Well, as we said, the main objective of this project is to improve resilience and adaptive capacity of our community and our farmers, subsistence farmers especially. So that is the ultimate goal,
Yes.
To empower them, to empower them to make the right decision when it comes to agriculture and when it comes to drought. Sometimes we resort into very expensive things, but it brings a negative, impact, result to the environment and to our communities.
Yes.
So we just need to empower farmers to make the right decision.
So what was the reaction of the farmers when you went and educated them on all these things?
Well, the thing, Louise, it's always good to be simple.
True.
And common sense.
Yes. Simple is always the best.
And farmers, they are best in, in making decision, to make their own decision. So it's just for us to wake them up.
Right.
Wake them up. These are the things that maybe your parents or grandparents used to do. So why don't we, go back
to the traditional
methods?
Because, I mean, they didn't have all those things in the past, all these chemicals and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
All right. On Speak Your Mind, this is Gold FM, only the classic hits, the only classic hit station in the country. Thank you for your sweet company. Welcome back to Speak Your Mind on Gold FM, only the classic hits. I'm Louise Kaunisela, and my guest from ADRA is the Pro Resilience Project Manager, Ilimeleki Kayanuyanu. And, you have been sharing such good things with us, and I'm so happy for the work that you've done. You know how you spoke about... we spoke about going back to our traditional ways of farming. Keeping that knowledge, I think, is very important. Ilimeleki, what do you think?
Yes, part of the project on resilience is actually looking at the crops that they do plant. Most of our traditional crops are actually resilient to drought. We're talking about kawai. Even cassava. There are some of our dalo variety that are quite resilient to drought. So these are the things that, why don't we plant rather than looking at crops that are, early maturity, but they are not, resilient to drought.
There's so many factors that come into play with drought, yes.
Yeah. So that's another thing about, we actually teach them, hey, why don't we plant this crop during this time, Just a good example, kumala, it's a 3 months crop.
Right.
When we are about to face, the wet season, cyclone season, why not plant a bit of kumala? Just in preparation.
The
timing, that's something that, we're looking at the calendar for crop, even our traditional Fijian calendar have got big information on resilience. Just plant whatever it's best for that time, for that season.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to be planting things that are off season, and then you have a lot of issues with insect and insect that you need to spray. Those are the things that we teach our subsistence farmers.
Yeah. So, like for instance, this weather, I don't think it's the bele grows very well, does it? During the cold season, is that right? Or maybe wrong? I don't know.
Well, now we are facing, from April to November, that is, what we call the dry season in Fiji.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
From November to April, that's when we have cyclone season.
Yes.
More rain and. So these are the time. Even though it's cool, but it's a time to plant vegetables.
Okay, so it's good to plant vegetables during the cold weather.
Yes.
All kinds of vegetables.
Yeah, from April to not all. There are some, example, eggplant that they do need, hot and wet season. So now you'll see eggplant really, not really in season now.
Okay.
Eggplant. But for cabbage, those are the ones that you really see them, tomatoes, into their main season now, coming up into their main season.
When you go to the market, you can see plenty cabbage. And then we have the English cabbage as well. Tomatoes.
Right.
They're all in season
so
now.
this is their season,
Yeah. So, okay. So how long do they take to grow cabbage and tomato, English cabbage? Not that long, yeah?
Yeah, 3 months, Most of the cabbage, 3 months,
Very quick, No wonder it's overflowing in the market.
Yeah, even 2 months, for cabbage, yeah.
Okay. So when is the drought season again normally expected? And
Well,
in what areas?
Yeah, as I said, it's drought is an onset type of thing,
It can come
we
anytime.
can go through drought without realizing that it's drought,
Oh.
That's something that is really special about drought. Scientifically, they said that there are a number of types of drought, hydrological drought, and
Okay.
So, and the thing, we can have drought in one side of the island and not in the other side. So those are the things about drought. Very, it only ends when we have rain. If it continue without rain, then it's really becomes dry.
Yeah.
But the issue with drought, in 2015 there was a drought, but you really need the government to declare that it's drought,
I see.
unless it's prolonged dry weather. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. So you are just revisiting farmers now because you've covered more than the number that you were supposed to. Okay, so it's going to end, the project, in November. And how do you feel since the beginning? I mean, the hard work, I must say, that you have done, all the staff and the workers. How do you feel about all this training?
Luis, maybe I just need to add here that we only gave out to our subsistence farmers, those who are trained, what we call agricultural kits,
Okay.
K-knife, digging fork, hose pipe, salon shade, they can plant underneath, those green
the
material,
netting,
netting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really important, when we have a drought,
I see.
Those are things that we already gave out to our farmers.
For free.
For free.
All these more than 10,000 and 5,000 women.
Yeah, it's part of the project, agricultural kit.
And so what was their reaction getting all that?
Well, we normally get the feedback from our communities.
Yeah.
What they say, before we used to go and ask, those that have it, if we can use their digging fork. But now, no more kere, no more borrowing of digging forks or K-knife. Even there, certain village in Ba and Madhuwata, they said, we have increased planting of cassava. Now we can say that we have a cassava patch now.
Because of the tools.
Because of the tools,
Yes,
we are talking
true.
about subsistence farmers.
Yeah.
So it's an area too that it's part of this project to assist our subsistence farmers to even have simple tools.
Yeah.
Tools for them to, and it really encourages them to do their own. In terms of resilience, Luis, with these community committees on drought, they are able to mobilize. In the last cyclone, we have feedbacks from government that some of our committees are really working. They've been advising their community members, now it's time for us to move into higher ground, otherwise we'll be affected by flood. So they even move communities up to higher ground. So these are the things that we really, feel satisfied. That whatever we have trained our communities are really working.
Yes, like you went in, you taught them, and they pass on the word to the rest of the community members.
Part of the resilience is even mapping disaster risk areas in their community.
Wow.
So, they may be having flooding in certain part of the village.
And especially now with climate change, we've had, that terrible windstorm that came through. I think it taught a lot of lessons. But we'll be back soon on Speak Your Mind. This is Gold FM, only the classic hits, your only classic hit station in the country. Be sure to tune in. We're back on Speak Your Mind, Gold FM, only the classic hits. I'm Louise Kaunisela. I certainly hope you're enjoying the show, and you are also learning a lot from our guest, who is the Pro Resilience Project Manager from ADRA, and this is Elimeleke Kayanu. And you were just speaking about how, the farmers, their reaction to, everything that you donated to them, and how they're able to feel like making a big patch of cassava. So, I mean, for you, that was a satisfaction that you get from, going into the communities, going to the subsistence farmers and teaching them how to, till the land.
Yes, as I said, we are satisfied when farmers are empowered to make decisions.
Yeah.
We are only there to guide them. With options. But at the end of the day, it's them to make the right decision.
Yeah.
So that's part of the project. Even, as I said, mothers, what to cook that will give the family a balanced diet. Even what to plant, so that they can have a balanced diet. These are the things that we train families, to make the right decision when it comes to nutrition, for their family.
Yes.
So we see, that it's very effective during this COVID thing. If you go around the two provinces that we work in now, you'll see a lot of backyard gardens. They part of the project too, we actually assist them with seeds and seedlings,
Right.
For them to plant. And
So
we're
even that
happy.
you do.
We do that too. But to be resilient, we also, taught them, that you need to maintain seeds rather than relying on handouts or even buying every time.
Yeah.
You can, preserve your own seeds.
See, there you go.
Preserve your own seeds.
Just dry them up. And
Dry them up and,
yeah.
And that, it really helps out for them, what we say, to be resilient, not to be reliant.
True.
Those are the things that we really empower our communities.
Yeah. I mean, it is perfect timing, address training, what you've been doing, because, now there is also a recorded increase in entrepreneurial farming during the COVID-19 pandemic. And it's so noticeable because even I go out and do outside broadcasts, and as we travel along, it is very noticeable that a lot of people are planting, like big time.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a great thing. So how much did the European Union fund the Why Fiji Pro Resilience Project?
As I said, we have a partner that are also implementing the same project.
Okay.
But for ADRA alone, we were given around 5.2 million Fiji dollars.
Well, I mean, money used well.
That's that's how we are assisting our farmers, our communities.
True.
So now we are starting to look at how we can exit the project in a sustainable way.
Yes.
So now we're working with our stakeholders, especially government, and how they can take over once the project comes to an end now. Eh?
I know.
We are satisfied that the communities are responding to what we taught them in the project. Eh?
Mm-hmm.
And when we are hit with this COVID, we really, it's just the right time. Eh?
True.
People are planting
Perfect
their
timing.
own gardens now, and
Using that knowledge
knowledge
that you
that we-
gave them.
Yes.
Yes. So, I mean, now that we are living during a pandemic, I mean, even this is after 100 years,
Yeah.
I mean, agriculture is obviously the best way to go. What would be your advice to, people who are doing backyard farming or just wanting to go into agriculture? Just maybe some last piece of advice before we wrap up the show.
Yeah, that's really true. We are in a pandemic, eh? And I just want to say that we don't need a big backyard. Even without a backyard, you can use containers
Okay.
to plant your vegetables. You can use a sacks bag to plant. We actually had in Madhuwata planting yams on sacks with soil packed in it. So we don't need to rely on others. We can be self-sufficient
Yeah.
at home with vegetables or even crops that we need for our own consumption. Eh?
True.
Rather than relying on outside, we can do it ourselves.
Thank you so much. I mean, for us, even we are blessed because we have good soil.
Yes.
Some
Yes.
parts of the world, they don't even have,
Yeah.
they can't even plant because nothing will grow.
Not only good soil, but also the climate. Eh?
The climate too, I know. We
Yeah.
have perfect climate,
Perfect
so
climate.
we just have to make use of the resources that we
We
have.
have.
Well, I thank you so much for sharing, your knowledge with us.
Thank you.
And I hope that, when you're going to go back to the farms, you'll be happy. You'll see that they were practicing what you taught them. So that's
Yes,
what's going to
yeah.
be happening until November.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Yeah.
And that is our guest for today from the Adventist Development and Relief Agency and funded by the European Union, the Pro-Resilience Project Manager, Ilimaleke Kayanuyanu. Vinaka Vakalevu.
Navale, Luis.
And from me, Louise, thank you so much for your good company. Until next week, you look after yourself and be sure to keep doing your backyard farming on Gold FM, only the classic hits. Nisamo demanda.